What's going on, folks? What's up, Beat Boob? Good to see you in the chat. You're welcome to Work and Lurk. Love it, love it. Let me get some appropriately thematic tunes going right here. Boop. What's up, Animort? Welcome, welcome. All right. Whoa! Already sub with a prime. Oh, thank you, Animort. Appreciate it. Much obliged. What a great way to start the stream. Hold up. Transferring a shit ton of files from one iPad to the other, so apologies. I was running around this morning and wrapping this up. This is not. There's a couple of assets for an indie game I was working on, and it's in its sort of early stages. I'll probably show you guys that at some point in the future when it's all assembled in this iPad. We can see we got a lot more stuff in here than we did previously, so the file transferring is going great. I just had to. This is the old iPad I was working on a while back. You could see it's from the Stone Ages, but it's got some sick ass stickers on it. But that has a bunch more stuff I have yet to transfer, so I'm looking forward to that. In the meantime, let's get going, dude. Oh yes, oh yes. All right, so I want a social media sized thingy. That's my idea. Hope you guys are doing well today. First time streaming after a little break. Much needed bit of respite. I'm feeling great. Holidays are a little bit stressful for me as well as for, everybody. But it was like non-stop relaxation anniversary trip. First thing I got back, immediate cortisol. Shit comes back. But hey, we're working through it. How are you guys doing today? Get my animation assist going, yes. Let's do 24. Get a nice background. No, it's all good, buddy. Yeah, don't worry about it at all. You're having a much worse time than I am there, Annie. I hope everything works out for you and all the bullshit you're going through. Hey, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. DXV 3D. Good to see you. So I just loaded up a playlist of all of the stage themes from 1 to like. I was looking myself to make my own playlist earlier, before the stream started, and I noticed that 7 and 8 have not yet made it to the Capcom Sound Team Spotify. I was like, damn it, because I really like those soundtracks. I know they're a little bit of an outlier as far as a lot of people are concerned, but I think the vibe is really cool. Um, but this has 1 through 8. 7 and 8 are kind of some remixes done by some artists that are on Spotify, so that should be interesting. Let me make sure that my shit is in the appropriate channels. What's up, Jack Draws Games? Good to have you. Good to have you. Welcome to Work and Lurk, or just go berserk. Anyway. All right. Let's get our color palette locked down. I think I'm gonna use my standard kind of. I call it a color family because these all kind of are meant to work together. And this should work just fine. But let me just make sure. Get our little orbs of color going on. Yeah, I see that. I really appreciate you showing up. If there's a specific way to pronounce your name, it could be like David or DXV3D, whichever you prefer. Let me know. It's great to have you. Always love seeing new names in the chat. It's brightens my day. It's so cool, right? Yeah, I played Mega Man like a couple of times. It's a really cool game. Yeah, I got into the series with the Mega Man X series, um, for the SNES. That was so impactful for me. Like, and my art, my views on character design, my taste in music, even. Like, oh, so good. I've only played the first two Mega Man games all the way through in terms of the original NES titles. Um, so I'm not exactly like a diehard, like, like, ooh, you're a fake fan if you don't play all the way through and speedrun them. It's like, no, it's like, hell yeah. I love the character. I love the series. Guess what is David? Lol. Also, yeah, maybe avoid the struggle of saying each individual letter. Thank you. I will say David. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of put it together. I picked it up. Picked up what you're putting down. Let's see. Here we go. I'm doing it kind of a low resolution because that's where this brush only gets this big basically. Like it doesn't get. I like the way that it looks when it's at this size and this texture. It still works at higher resolutions, but it doesn't feel as crunchy. And I feel like, especially considering we're kind of doing something that was originally pixel art, it's appropriate to have, kind of a lower resolution. I think we're only at like 1080 or something. Mo Chicken, what's up? Just scrolling up a little bit. It's Mega Man's birthday yesterday, apparently. My good friend Eric, who's working on an amazing indie game called Lucid that I made some assets for the Kickstarter. He's an incredible guy, great friend of mine. He might even show up later this stream. Anyway, yeah, it was Mega Man's birthday yesterday. He told me, Eric, my buddy, told me via an Instagram post. I was like, oh shit, I need to do something because of how important the series is to me. Um, you just streamed Mega Man 1 last night. Wait, you streamed Mega Man 1 accidentally on his birthday, Mo Chicken? What? Something that's insane. What are the chances? The stars aligned and just shot a beam of inspiration into you. That's fucking awesome. Are you kidding me? Wow. All right. I love that. What are the chances? That's incredible. Well, apparently you're right on track. That looks good. I like that blue. That's amazing. Yellow Devil is a real fucker. I think he's from the first one, right? Yeah, because you use Elecman's power and then you pause and unpause. You guys know about that trick? Yeah, yellow. It's just rough. So the way to cheese him through an exploit, if you were willing to commit to cowardice, yes, yes. If you're just like, fuck it, I just want to get through it. I want to see that kill screen. I want to see that ending screen. Yeah, you use Elecman's power, and they didn't know this. If you pause and unpause the game while a hit is registering, say like while the little spaghetti noodles of Elecman's powers are passing through Yellow Devil, for example, if you pause and unpause rapidly, it counts that as a hit every single time you unpause it, so you could just eradicate a motherfucker. But you did it the honorable way, Mo. I respect it. I respect it greatly. So we're just getting a feel for the textures right now. 2, 3. I'm gonna leapfrog it for that. Let's see, is that too high contrast or does it look nice? So I'm trying to get a feel for the color palette of a character. This is what I do sometimes. I just make little shapes, little noodles of appropriate general dimensions or shape languages, right? And I just shade them a little bit and see if it looks good. Man, the Mega Man 2 Robot Master themes are like famous for a reason. Like they're just so good. God damn. Yeah. All the VOD watchers, I apologize because I just decided to leave it out for y'all. Nothing personal, but if you're more than welcome to put your own playlist of Mega Man themes on in the background while you're watching, if you're watching, and if you are, I love you. What's up, Kenja Man? Mega Man, Mega Man. Yeah, dude. All about that little blue guy. What are some bad Mega Man songs? Almost all of them. I feel like the lowest you get is still pretty good. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's a couple where I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like it meanders a little bit, but like also I'm not super familiar with the NES titles. You know what I mean? I'm really, really into the SNES ones. I played every Mega Man X game until 7 and 8. 8 I heard is fine. 6 was already like 5 was like it was fine, right? Music still kicked ass. The boss theme in X5 is phenomenal. Yo, oh, thank you so much for the sub. What's up? Thank you guys. That's 2 in 1 day. You're amazing. Did the primes reset for you fine folks? Yeah, that's what I heard, Mo. Thank you, Kenjamin. Thank you so much. Oh, it's a great day to be back at the stream, y'all. You're making me feel so happy and special. Thanks. But yeah, in terms of bad Mega Man soundtracks, I would have to. I mean, I guess we're gonna find out because I think the first 5 or 6 is what we're gonna end up listening to throughout the stream, just by when I'm just letting it run. Um, it might actually end sooner because this doesn't have any of the boss themes or anything, just the stages, which is a little unfortunate. It's one reason I was trying to make my own, but like I don't know, it didn't quite get to 3 hours by the time I got to a certain point. So we'll see, we'll see. I can switch it up. Um, but yeah, I don't have as much experience with the original NES titles, so I don't have much of a perspective on like. I'm sure there's a couple of songs in there that's like, okay, can't wait to get through this stage because it's kind of annoying now. But like, I don't know. But yeah, going back to Mega Man X5. Yeah, it was supposed to be the end of the series. Um, I have some beef with Mega Man X5, mainly the fact that no matter what you do, I believe it was my sister-in-law Penny. Um, Hi Penny, who told me that no matter what you do in X5, how quickly you get the parts for the whatever the fuck, the laser to shoot down the satellite that's falling, it's a dice roll. It's still RNG no matter what you do, which means you could do the same thing 5 different times the same way. And it's not, and if I recall correctly, it's determined earlier than a certain point. Maybe when you start the game, which ending you're going to get. So it doesn't matter if you try to re-roll it after saving or whatever the fuck. You could still get the bad ending. I don't know. I don't know. I heard that a while ago. I could be wrong. But either way, the fact that your actions do not matter is insulting in a game set up like that. Um, I love the fact, absolutely love the fact that, like, I knew that who you used for which stage had some kind of impact. Yeah. Kind of like a throwback to X1, which is incredible. Um, when you beat one dude, that stage has an effect on the next, on different stages and stuff like that. Such a cool idea. Mhm. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that, Mo. I'm sure you're right. I'm not familiar with the ins and outs. I just heard that and it pissed me off. Um, but like I love the fact that they just kind of threw a little zest in there. I think it was after I think it was after X. Was it in the credits of X2 or X3? I think it was 2. I think it was 2. Because they were like, he's going to have to destroy his best friend Zero, but only time will tell when or why. It's like, oh yeah, only time will tell. Because you have no fucking idea how you're going to fulfill that plot point, do ya? It was X3. It was. Thank you. Okay. Dude, they didn't know what the fuck they were going to do. It was so stupid. I've been, full disclosure, and not making any promises here, but I I'm working on like a fan comic type thing. Like I'm trying to get a script together for a Mega Man X fan comic, um, or like a screenplay type thing. I don't know. The pipe dream here, and this might be a really interesting clip if it comes to fruition 10 fucking years down the line or however long it might take, right? But like in a perfect world, if my streaming shit takes off, if anything that I'm planning takes off and I get a little bit of a name for myself and I have any weight to put in any direction, my pipe dream is to make for Mega Man X what the Castlevania anime was for Castlevania. That's like a dream of mine, right? A bucket list item is to make something like that. I want it to have like, oh, like I want it to hit in the ways that the series could have hit if it was maybe aimed at an older audience. Like Mega Man Zero does a really good job of actually asking questions and like not like a full like character development to a certain point, although Zero you can see him softening up towards CL during it. um Zero goes a little bit deeper, is clearly aimed at a slightly older audience than X. Mega Man X is very like Saturday morning cartoon vibes, especially for the first few, which is great. It's beautiful. There's this kind of innocence to it, um and it's very sweet. I love Mega Man X, the original three. 3 X3 I prefer on the one with the cutscenes and shit because that shit ripped. Yeah. Exactly, Mo. It's hard, Mo. It's hard as fuck. Mega Man Zero is really hard. If you want to get everything, which I did, I played through that fucking shit with no continues. So I did it completely. I got the Zero collection. I might even play it on stream at some point because I want to walk through the series at some point. It's about Zero, yes. It is. It's a completely different art style, but it is the same Zero from Mega Man X. It's a great fucking series. Incredible. The art director is Toru Nakayama. He's incredible. No, it's definitely Zero. It's Mega Man Zero. It's set. It developed something really interesting in the series. Sorry, I'm doing too much gesticulating. I need to actually draw some fucking pictures over here. Story of my life. This baseline in Heatman stage is so fucking sick. It's like what? It's like a couple of boops. It's like fucking driving ass, funky ass baseline. Anyway. Put his little face right here, see how it looks. Yeah, it's a different art style completely, but it is the same canon, and it is canon. It takes place however many hundreds of years in the future, and it introduces an interesting concept, which is the Elf Wars, right? Um, in Mega Man Zero, cyber elves are like they're basically like little fairies, little sprites, right? When it comes, and the horrible thing about cyber elves, and one of the layers of sadistic fuckery in Mega Man Zero is they're a power up. Some of them are permanent, some of them are less so. That you, in order to use them, you kill them. They sacrifice themselves for you. They're like, I got you, buddy. Right? And so it's like, yeah, you can use a power up if you want to be a little bitch and also a horrible person. It's like, dude, what the I just want a little more health so I don't die immediately. And they're like, you get good scrub. You're like, oh fuck. It's like it's like it's like a little bit of Dark Souls, a little bit of Mega Man X, a lot of Mega Man X, a little bit of Dark Souls. And it's horrible. Like it's so. I would recommend watching some Let's Plays. Yeah, I never did it. You don't do it. Um, Also, if the guilt wasn't bad enough on its own, they permanently reduce your grade. And in order for you to get power ups, say like Mega Man X, when he beats somebody, he just gets their fucking power, right? In order to get a skill from certain bosses, you need to have a rank that's good enough. So if you're an A rank or an S rank, you get a cool skill. So it's interesting because it does a lot of work to incentivize high skill play. But the unfortunate thing is that it does that in a very punishing and cruel way. Basically, yeah. It is. No, it's like, I think it goes back to what I was saying before about it's like Mega Man X aimed at a slightly older audience, who and like it's like, and similar to this is where the Dark Souls Elden Ring kind of thing comes in, where it's like it is not designed with accessibility in mind at all, really, or accessibility at a price. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, fucking Wily, this guy right here. Yeah, I would watch some Let's Plays, Mo. For instance, if I play it, you're more than welcome to join. I'm gonna do exactly what I did before, which is just do it legit, reset every time I die, take it from the top. Not speed running, but getting all the power ups and everything. Not using any elves, making sure I get an A to an S rank, whatever it takes. I did it through the entire series. It was so hard, but there's little things that you pick up over time, little patterns that you remember, like in terms of how the move set behaves in different contexts and stuff like that. Um, it's a great game. It's a great series of games. The tone is cool. The art direction's phenomenal. It's just for a very specific audience. Um, and now you can, I would recommend watching someone play it so you'd actually, be able to enjoy the story and everything. But the Elf Wars, Cyber Elves are basically like the technology for, like, it's a technological leap above Reploids. Reploids are like a thinking, feeling, emoting, sentient being created by humans. Humans made by humans, near indistinguishable. With the advent of Mega Man X himself at the hands of Dr. Light, etc., etc. Cyber Elves are basically like souls for all intents and purposes. Could be used as like a power, like they like. There's a lot of sort of nebulous stuff about what they really are, but at the end of the day, they float around you like Navi from fucking Ocarina of Time and do different things depending on which one you equip. They look like little Pokemon. They're great. You kill them if you use them. It's horrible. Some Zero games made it so that you can use them, some of them passively, but the really big ones you have to consume. So it was nice to be able to actually use them eventually. But the Elf Wars take place between Mega Man X and Mega Man Zero. And there's a lot of intrigue there, and they never touched it. In a perfect world, if some higher power descended and like parted the clouds and gave me like the perfect addition to my life in video games, it would be Platinum Games making a 3D character action game set in the Mega Man X universe, covering the Elf Wars. Fill in the gap between Mega Man X just Don't even talk about X6. You can bring up X5 if you want, but X6 through 8, don't give a shit. Didn't exist. You could even start from X4. I don't care. Make a new sort of bridge, but cover that little stretch of time. Wait, cyber elves are Navi? I feel a little less guilty about the idea of killing them. Navi's voice is cute. I have beef with her for one moment when she's like, "We should see what Sari is up to." That's the only time when I most recently played where I was like, shut up. I swear to fucking Christ. But like, other than that, she's like, "Hey, Ethan." I'm like, oh, she's just a little guy. She's small and tiny. She's got a precious little voice. And then you got like that fucking dude from Minish Cap who's like, I'm like, oh my god, no one talks about this dude. It's because nobody played Minish Cap. Like some people did, but like, you know what I mean? In comparison, it's a lot less ubiquitous. Something like that in the Castlevania chronology too. Oh yeah. Briefly, what are you referring to? Just like, because I played every Castlevania game for the most part, but I'm not placing it from that reference alone there, Mo. I'm gonna merge this down real quick. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Can't skip Navi's dialogue. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Let's see, which color looks better. It's gonna look a little weird for a second. He's gonna have two faces. Aw. It's just a little guy. Blue makes sense. But it's a little less warm. Don't look at the Two-Face Mega Man ball. It can't hurt you. Oh yeah, that's right, with Julius in it, right? Yeah. His event called the War of 1999 that was supposed to be when Julius Belmont fought Dracula and finally killed him. Can we talk about how insanely badass they developed Julius Belmont to be? They really gave that motherfucker like some status. Like just in dialogue alone, Soma Cruz, oh my god, he never got his game. Give him a game. You're so right. Yeah, the War of 1999. How are you gonna? He looked kind of funny in. Okay, I love Ayami Kojima's art. She's the one who, as you may know, she's the one who's responsible for all of the incredible kind of like gothic, just like all of the most beautiful men that anyone has ever laid eyes on. That artwork, that soft like traditional artwork that they used, like if you look at the character concept art for Symphony of the Night, for example, hottest Richter has ever been, bar none. He looks like a pirate captain from some romance novel. He just exudes like aura. Jesus Christ. And then Alucard, my forever husbando since Symphony of the Night. Something about like a man that looks like a beautiful woman in the face and has like a bass baritone voice just destroys me. Like, I love that shit. Um, yeah, Alucard. Damn. Damn. Ayami Kojima is personally responsible for that. And between the concepts in place and Ayami Kojima's artwork being in Aria of Sorrow, it makes me want to like it more than Dawn of Sorrow, but Dawn of Sorrow is such a phenomenal sequel to Aria that like it builds on like literally, if the sword swinging animation wasn't so weird in Aria of Sorrow for the heavy weapons, when he like they do like the mode 7, like he like swings his arm and he's still swinging it with one hand, he's like and it looks fucking gross. I hate it. They just like rotated his arm.jpg with the heavy weapon in it. If they had the swing like they did in Dawn of Sorrow, it'd probably edge it out as my favorite Castlevania game. It's because it's so creative and so interesting and weird. And like, I love Soma Cruz as a character. I love the fact that he naturally has, again, he has like, they talk about the power of dominance, and he always like just has this fucking status about him, right? He's like, I think even as early as Arya of Sorrow, he's like, it's rude to ask somebody's name before introducing yourself. And like dude who ends up being the last boss is like, oh my bad, I'm Graham. Like, he's like a 17-year-old or some shit. Everybody in anime is 17. Even fucking Jotaro from the OVA of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, bulging out of his prison cell as like a linebacker and shit. He's like, I'm 17 years old. It's like, what do they feed you, bro? That's anime shit. Anyway, no. Like, story-wise, maybe it was an unnecessary game. I feel like it was made, maybe it was made to cash in, on sequel stuff, but like, God, it was so enjoyable to play. You know what I mean? Right, exactly. What the fuck? Where's Bela Lugosi? Why does he want me dead? You are Bela Lugosi, Soma. Oh shit. Yeah, exactly. No, but I'm with you. Story-wise, it is clearly weaker. The art style is weaker in general. Yeah, no, I get you. I completely, I agree with you on that front. It didn't need to happen story wise, and Aria of Sorrow stands so strongly on its own in terms of concept, in terms of story. Like, God, it's a good fucking game. They just wanted, maybe Igarashi just wasn't satisfied with everything about it. Maybe they were just cashing in. Maybe Konami's just like cracking the whip. I know they are all about the muns, hun. But yeah, they still did a pretty good job drawing Alucard. That was like, man. Little shill, you want to watch someone play it? I streamed it not too long ago. Tights. Put it in self-promotion in the Discord. What Discord is that? Did it. Anyone who's not already in it, join it. Enjoy it. David, if you're still here, enjoy your lurk. You're more than welcome to join the Discord. Let's put that here. I'm going to pin it if I can. There you go. Anyone who is interested in joining the Discord who has not yet. Oh, no. Don't ever apologize for lurking. It is a great thing. You're here, you're adding to the numbers, you're vibing with me. Do not worry at all, all right? Just putting that up there, offering if you want to join the Discord. We'd love to have more people. The more the merrier. I think I'm going to go with the brown for his little mouth. All right. It's already been half an hour. I haven't drawn shit. Too busy talking about Castlevania, which is great. But yeah, the different art style, I think the designs aren't weaker. They're just more anime, which is, not exactly my taste. The story, stuff like that. Dawn of Sorrow is definitely a weaker title than Aria of Sorrow. If they had fixed that fucking sword animation, I'd be, ugh. Oh, they definitely did. I agree. And it was a smart decision for that purpose. But, and as anime art styles go, it's fine. Like, I like it better than Portrait of Ruin's art style. And honest to God, Portrait of Ruin, my main issue with the art style is just Charlotte's hair. It looks like a fucking, like, tarp that you put on her head. It's so flat. It is so flat. And meanwhile, you got fucking Luscious Locks Yu-Gi-Oh hair, motherfucker. Portrait of Ruin's so good! It is like the most fun. It is one of the most fun Castlevanias, especially on the DS. Like, oh my god, DS was just popping off, dude. God, DS was good. But I love the game. I'm making my way through. I'm getting all of the items now. I'm getting every item. I finished all of Wynn's, all the side quests, and I'm just making my way through the list of enemies, making sure I get all the items and stuff like that, because it's always fun. It's just something I do before bed. Usually I'm just like, oh. I did, yeah. I beat Bloodstained. It's yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. It's a non Castlevania, non Konami bound Igavania. Um, I played the shit out of Bloodstain. Moxie and I, my wife, for those who don't know, um, we just nonstop. We chewed that game up and spat it out. I have a couple of issues with it, um, but it's a great game. I really really enjoyed it. It's a great game. It feels like a natural progression from other like Igavanias. It feels. I wish they had done something different for. I wish it was optimized better. I wish they. I would honestly have been perfectly fine if they did portrait art. I know it wouldn't have changed with you for your customization of Miriam and stuff like that, but like there were so many moments of it lagging or chunking. You know what I mean? When I think it would have done better if you had just done implemented a little bit of 2D art here and there. Um, no spoilers if anyone hasn't played it. I think the last boss design was weak as shit. And also, for the amount of grinding that I did, same thing happened with me in Symphony of the Night, honestly, or most Castlevania games, because I want to get everything, right? Um, I was playing it on Switch. That might be one of the issues. But it didn't seem like there was that much going on, like in terms of graphics, for it to be chug-a-lugging so fucking hard. Um, yeah, they must have struggled with it then. I'd be curious to see non-Switch version. I'd be down to play that at some point. Because even in spite of it, I think the crafting system was probably one of the best that I've experienced. Like, it felt so good. The sound design for the crafting and everything like that. Yeah, okay, cool. I guess they just. I've heard that the Switch is incredibly hard and like super treacherous to develop for. Like I heard that like there's some weird shit with the development on the Switch. So that must be it. I'll look up some gameplay on the PS4 version. You've inspired me. Thank you, Mo. Go ahead. Mad respect for making all your thumbnails by hand, by the way. I think that's like a smoke 'em if you got 'em thing that you. It's a missed opportunity if you're a visual artist and you don't make your own thumbnails. So they look great. I appreciate them when I see them. I'm gonna one of these days I'll watch one of your playthroughs. So yeah, yeah, put them in the. Hi, Maeve. That's my kitty. Hello, sweetie. Hey, come up. You're so cute. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry, baby. I gotta yoink you. Oh, this is an angel right there. There's my baby. Say hi, Maeve. Oh, she put a little paw in my mouth. That's not hygienic. Say hi to the camera, baby. Hello. Sniffing my face. Yes, Maeve. Any subscribers? Maeve's in the chat. Put your Maeve's in the chat. Get some Maeve's in the chat. I'm gonna do it myself. Put some Maeve's in the chat. Yeah, Maeve's in the chat. Oh, I love it. All right. She's a little angel. All right. So let's. Yeah, that's one reason I respect it because I was doing just the thumbnails for the highlights on my YouTube, and I'm just like, yeah, this is like I could see why for between that and the editing, I can see why people hire people do that kind of thing, right? Yeah, well, I mean, I'm supposedly working right now on fan art, but I've been gabbing about fucking Konami games for about, 40 minutes. Drawn a couple of noodles and a weird double-faced orb, so hey. Oh, it's just I'm just as guilty, my dude. Yeah, go ahead, work and lurk. I'm here, always down to gab. That song was kind of meh. I feel like they kind of taper off after a certain. game. You know what I mean? It ends up being like high spots. But again, like no, I would say I don't think there's a bad Mega Man song. You know what I mean? It's just like the bar is set super high. It's it's kind of like Mega Man X1 is such a tough act to follow in terms of just like sheer like 16-bit good shit, you know what I mean? Um Mega Man X2, I liked a lot of songs in X2. Um X1's still my favorite of the classic SNES titles. Um X3 on its original in the SNES is I really don't like I don't like the MIDI that they chose for the SNES entry of X3. I think it's really muddy. I think it's I think it's kind of like the compositions are like basic. It's a lot of beedly 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 beedly. You know what I mean? Like that is like the backbone of the melodies chosen in X3, and it does not stand on its own in terms of compos. Like that's one thing that makes chip tunes and old school music so like video game music so impressive is the fact that your composition is good enough to stand on its own even though it's only a couple of clicks and like four beeps of varying beepage. um so like you can really tell if something isn't performing well compositionally because there's nothing to hide behind. And I think X3 falls short compositionally. There's a couple of really good songs, like the intro song is really good. Um, a couple of songs work all right. What's up, isn't it? Good to have you, buddy. Good to see you in chat. Mega Man 4 has some of my all-time faves. It was the only Mega Man I had for many years before getting more. How it goes, dude? Real good. Real good. Thank you for asking. Thank you for being here. First stream after the anniversary trip, which was hard to leave. It was very difficult to leave. I was so fucking relaxed. It was great. Um, but nothing lasts forever, as they say. It's fine. Very. It was just incredible. Got a little used to the relaxation and being kind of unplugged from social media and shit. Um, so it encouraged me to balance work and social media, life and social media a little bit more aggressively because I'm just like, fuck, dude. Ugh, you know? But yeah, like it was some of the most fun and the most relaxed most fun I've had, most relaxed I've been in a very long time, and I really the only reason that the only thing that could bring us back home, my wife and I, was just we missed our cat. Isn't that right, Maeve? What are you doing over there? What are you doing? Making sure she's not eating anything she's not supposed to. What are you doing, Maeve? You're so cute. Anyway, but yeah, like the only thing that brought us back was the promise of seeing our little baby cat. She's so cute. They were just like, miss my cat. God, she's so good. Such a good baby cat. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Dive Man stage pretty good. I think I want a little bit of purple to add depth. Maybe I'll just dial it in with that. I don't want to make it too costly to render. I would like to do like a really small animation, theoretically. Alright, so I'm gonna just make a couple layers high real quick. Let's get a sketch down and actually get to making something worth posting. Yeah, I think the playlist that I'm working with didn't add the Wiley themes for some reason. They're just like just the stage themes, and I was like, that's a good kind of crash course that should be able to span the 3 hours, you know. I'll switch over after this if it runs out too soon, if it just gets to remixes, etc. All right, so we're gonna do a rough animation real quick. I'll drop this down to 12 FPS, and I'll make a duplicate when I'm done. So I'm gonna start with a static screen. And then I'm gonna do this. I have this cute little design that I made for Mega Man a while back. That's not actually on this iPad, but it's on Instagram. Oh, I should probably have that. I should probably have that in my shit. Yeah, whatever. Well, I'll post it later. Okay, but I have this cute little design for him that I'm gonna be using a variant of. Yeah, I actually like that shit better. Thanks. Accidents. Accidente. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, he's a Mega Man. He's gotta have 5 fingers. Like a real man. What's your favorite Mega Man track? Classic NES Mega Man, y'all. I don't want to sound basic, but I've always liked Airman's theme. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's up there. It's really good. Flashman's is also fantastic. Um, Needleman and Gemini Man, hell yeah. I remember Gemini Man's fucking slapping. It's so good. I remember playing. I like Power Fighters. That game rules. There's a lot of shit that they just didn't include in the Legacy collection for the one that I got for Switch. Pharaoh Man song's great. Oh my god, when I think Pharaoh Man, I think about the Ruby Spears Super Fighting Robot cartoon, right? He's You seen that clip? You seen that fucking clip where he's like Mega Man just like grabs him on the arm or whatever. He's like, "Now I've got your weapon," and then Pharaoh Man just like bang, decks him in the face. That's raw as shit, dude. Oh my god, it's so funny. Yeah, I think Flashman might be my favorite, just off the top of my head. God, it's so fucking funny. Yeah, any clips from the Saturday morning cartoon where Mega Man had like uncomfortable amounts of muscles for like a little guy? That's the Ruby Spears cartoon. It's 80s as shit, super fun. Super fighting robot. Yeah, and it's that and the Gutsman clip that you need to look up on YouTube. It's so funny. It's like they're at like an amusement. Did you see it? It's really short. It's just like at an amusement park, and like the ass of some kind of costume or some shit is like removed, and you could see through it. You could see Gutsman's butt, and fucking Mega Man's like, it's Guts Man, and you could only see his ass. Like, how do you know Mega Man? But it just goes and it like zooms in on only Guts Man's ass. So it's like I didn't even know that existed. And then I did these cute little like uh fan designs for the classic Robot Masters, including Gutsman. And when I posted it on like the Mega Man Reddit, someone said it's Gutsman or whatever, and I didn't get it. And they were like, "You need to see this." The Ruby Spears. They're like I can only think of the Ruby Spears cartoon moment, and I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Just fucking look at it. You gotta see it." And I said same exact thing. Just immediately on size, busted up. So funny. Wave man got a little tropical vibe. I dig it. Nah, it's my cat over here. Hi. Meow. So cute. Shame you guys can't hear that. She's a good little nugget. That's what she is. The sort of big, blocky finger design is definitely in no small part inspired by the designs of Toru Nakayama from Mega Man Zero, we were mentioning earlier. I have one of my most proud pieces of shelf candy is the Mega Man Zero Complete Works, which is, it's an art book, design, character designs, concept art. I'm a slut for concept art. I tell you what, God, it's so fucking amazing to see like the process that went into a character design that you love or respect, or like she's like, oh, that's delicious. Um, and Mega Man Zero is one of my favorite art styles because it takes the things that I love about mecha, and like Japanese like robot design, and just makes it so fucking sleek. It's like poetry looking at it. It's a masterclass in silhouette and shape language, like color blocking. It's just so magnificent to look at. It's so inspiring. And I have the complete works on my shelf. And god damn, it's so good. It's so fucking good, dude. Got that shit in Japantown in San Francisco. Mm, great purchase. Okay. Basically doing a little storyboard. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this whole thing, but I want to get a rough animation at least, and I want to finish it by today. I got a bunch of shit that I have to do for like presents and stuff like that um, between now and the Xmas. So it is kind of pushing it to do something that is, for all intents and purposes, purely recreational. But content's content. What am I doing? Yeah, that'll work. Might need to make them a little thicker. Gyro Man stage. He propelling himself. Gyro Man's a pretty cool design. Big fan of Gyro Man's design. Metal Man, tight, sick as fuck. He's a ninja that throws buzzsaw shurikens. What's not to like? Um, I've always liked Crash Man's design. I think he's very interesting. I don't know who my favorite is though. Oh, oh. I didn't mean to fuck up your Google search history. If you look up Ruby Spears, Mega Man, Gutsman, that should do it. But if you don't want to pollute your search history anymore, I understand. I'll post it. Remind me in the Discord. Hello, Moxie. Well, okay, I'll see myself out if we gotta act right. You were wreathing, eh? I seen it. It looked great. Looked great. Made wreaths with your bare hands. Looks fucking nice, dude. There we go. Wreath what you sow, you know, that's what I always say. It's good to see you in chat, baby. Welcome. Came just in time. We were talking about Gutsman's ass, as you know. I think I like it better if it does that. I will make these a little thicker. Starman stage. Makes sense. It sounds very spacey. Good luck grabbing anything with these fucking mitts, Mega Man. Not interested in your function, only your form. Mega Man would recognize those cheeks anywhere, yeah. It's Gutsman! Bam! Alright. Okay, so we're doing classic Mega Man move there. Almost want an establishing pose. But here we go. I'm gonna do a little smear here. I'm gonna add some sort of dimensionality there. Yeah, because if I just leave it like that, you're not gonna get to see him at all. So I'm gonna turn off onion skins for a second so I can see a little bit better. Interesting. Yeah, I'll find it and I'll share it in the Discord. It happens, you know. All right. I draw Mega Man with this little like a football head, or more appropriately like a lemon head. If you guys are familiar with Ego Raptor / Aaron Hansen, right? It's like Sequelitis, one of my favorite videos from that era of YouTube. Yeah, yeah, lemons when we talk about Mega Man X. So it's kind of like a little inside joke. It's a little reminiscent of that show Robot Boy. You guys ever see that? It's a weird show. It had Mako, the voice of Uncle Iroh, as one of the main characters, and that's about all I remember of it. Actually, I don't know if that speaks, you know, I don't know if that's a ringing endorsement exactly, but it's. I remember its art style was really cute. Um, it had Mako in it, so there you go. Aaron Hansen, millennial heartthrob. It's the important part anyway. Yeah, exactly. Right? What more do you need? I'm a big fan. Ooh. All right. You are some fool, baby Maeve. All right. I'm not even gonna put the BRB screen on. Just listen to this Mega Man music. I'll be right back after I feed my cat. All right. And we're back. Did you miss me? I was aware of Robot Boy, but I never watched it. I saw like 2 episodes. I think Cartoon Network knew it was kind of an oddball. I think it was Cartoon Network. I don't even remember. That's a bad sign already. I think it was. I think it was like mid-era Cartoon Network, right as they were about to slip into like kind of like I wouldn't call them the dark ages, but just kind of like bland Cartoon Network. A lot of the shows ended up having really good art styles. Sorry, I'm getting a little chilly. Um, a lot of the shows had really interesting art styles or art direction, but just like I wasn't drawn by the writing. Maybe I'm just a different audience. Like Steven Universe was a high spot, but it definitely was more along the lines of like an anime style, like epic, right? Love Steven Universe. It's amazing, right? I would consider it in a different family more what you'd find on Toonami or Adult Swim than say like Cartoon Network, cartoons fare. You know what I mean? Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo, season 2 specifically, phenomenal. Powerpuff Girls, that kind of shit. And then you got the oddballs like Sheep in the Big City. That shit was weird and great. They weren't afraid to experiment. They just experimented with shit that generally looked better than what you found on Nickelodeon. I've talked about it before. Nickelodeon was kind of the ugly cartoon channel. SpongeBob was the only like pleasant on the eyes thing. The rest of them were kind of just like they're rocking with it, like ugly on purpose shit. Like Ah Real Monsters, definitely a choice. Show is pretty great if I remember correctly. Um, you did get some hideous cartoons in Cartoon Network, like Cow and Chicken. Never really saw it. Um, didn't really like the way that it looked. The comedy was a little bit raunchier than like my mom wanted me to watch. So it generally, she was like, "Ah!" whenever it came on. So I was like, "Yeah, I just don't, I'm not gonna deal with this right now." But yeah, yeah, I think it was Cartoon Network. Whatever happened to Robot Jones? That was a weird show. That the name of that show actually disquiets me. It's so creepy as a name. Like what an existential name because it didn't have anything to do with the actual show. Real Monsters was great. Yes. Love the design. I think I played a game on the Super Nintendo. Might be misremembering that. I recall it existing. And I remember all the voice acting performances. I really liked the designs in that show. It was great. But yeah, Kenj, you might be a little bit behind because I think there's a lot of delay between what I'm talking about and when you're talking about it. Nothing wrong with that. My shit's always behind when I'm watching people stream. I'm just often not aware of it. So you might want to reload. But either way, yeah, like, so talking about Cow and Chicken, I didn't watch really because it was gross. Your mom's ability to walk in when the grossest, but yeah, stuff in the cartoon was on, absolutely 10 out of 10. Yes, Robot Jones. Thank you. That's what I was talking about. Good, the delay helped. Let's go. What a creepy ass existential name for a program of any kind. I don't know. You know what I mean? Something about it's chilling to me. Cause it's like they knew that it was gonna be like a weird, obscure thing, right? So they just named it something weirdly existential. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's so ominous, isn't it? I love his dad that's like a robotic arm. It's like, you will go to school, go to school, go to school. I used to say that all the time when I was going to school in any capacity. Whatever happened to, whatever happened to Robot Jones? Whatever happened to whatever happened to Robot Jones? It's so creepy. Thank you. Thank you, Kenj. Just to help you and I converse more efficiently. Apologies. Hell yeah. Yeah, it looks nice just from already. Marco. Do I give him a nose? That is always the question, isn't it? Let's get some guidelines going. I don't trust myself right now to not need them. Up to speed. There we go. Eventually, we got it. It's cool. I think there's just a smidge, but that is bound to happen no matter what. It was still a pretty swift polo in comparison to I think where it would have fallen originally. Um, I'm doing a lot of planning. I love having something to plan for. I like streaming for that reason especially. January is going to be a really interesting month for stream stuff, I think. I want to hit the ground running next year, and I want to get not real weird with it, but like sort of stretch my legs in terms of some more ambitious ideas. Keep the same general time slots in terms of like, 4 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, I think is probably my limit. I think if I did it any more than that regularly, I'd probably burn out. And I want to avoid that because I want to keep this level of activity where I'm still like having fun and I'm doing multiple things, right? But I have a couple of ideas for January that I think are going to be very fun and interesting. So fingers crossed. Have the calendar up obviously before the year ends and you can kind of peruse. We'll see what ideas come to fruition. Kind of got like a had like a Mickey Mouse situation earlier with the sort of head swoop there and maneuvering around it. Aww. Have you guys seen any of Mega Man Powered Up? It was like a shitty CG. I'm sorry, I don't want to start with with my opinion right off the bat being so loaded. You see that shitty cartoon? No, like I don't know how you guys feel about it. I've never actually watched an episode. Have you seen any of Mega Man Powered Up? It's a more recent show. Yeah, have you seen this cartoon that sucks fucking ass? Yeah, that is the kind of fair, balanced, non-loaded statement and question that you get from Blackboot Stream. I'm not opinionated at all. No, no. Like, I haven't seen it, so I have no place to judge. Have you seen Mega Man Powered Up? I think that's what it's called. And what do you think of it? The only thing I know about it is the fact that they fucked with Cutman's design, which is sacred ground as far as I'm concerned. The Mega Man Battle Network people didn't fuck with Cutman's design. That's how you know. Because those motherfuckers are popping off left and right. Some of the most incredible and inventive interpretations of the Robot Masters. All of them good. Art style fucking legendarily slick. One of my favorites. And they left Cutman virtually untouched. They were like, no, he's perfect. Look at him. Look at him. It's 10 out of 10. Look at him. Little scissors on his head. He's cute. They didn't touch him. That kind of made his face a different art style, but he's basically the same. And fucking Mega Man Powered Up gave him a bowl cut and buck teeth. Look how they massacred my boy. Like it's that bad. It's so bad. The art style in general is a little bit clunky. It's very like Western, modern Western merchandise selling shit. Like it feels very Paw Patrol. You know what I mean? That's the kind of I feel like that's who it must be aimed at. But God, I'm just like, oh, Cutman, you poor bastard. This little face here reminds me. I started playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 because I got the Marvel vs. Capcom collection on Switch. That shit fucking rules. I missed that game, dude. The intro segment, like Like I used to spend so much time in the arcade. My brother would play the shit out of the game. I was like looking at different like shelves. Heard that song in the background. I knew shit was gonna be a-okay. A couple of hobby stores we frequented back when it was like when anime it sounds like such a fucking old man saying this shit, but like when anime and like weird video games were a little bit more like niche as a hobby and stuff like that, my brother especially, would go to seek out different like hobby stores and Japanese goods stores and stuff like that, and we'd get model kits and we'd build them just based on the pictures and numbers. Good times. But one of them had a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet. I remember that. I'll take you for a ride. Do I give him eyebrows in a stereotypical Blackfoot maneuver? No, it's too much. I can't lie, it's cute, but like I can't do it. I'm thinking no mouth. We'll see what shakes loose when I actually get it done. Just looked him up. That's not Cutman. That's Cutman's son who hasn't come into his own. He is a disappointment to all of us, especially Cutman, his dad, Cutman Senior. He's this fellow is barely even Cut Boy. I hate the design, and as I said, partially it's because it's sacred ground. You can't. He's so good. He's so simple. He's got little scissors. His ears are hollow, like the handles for scissors. So it looks like it's just sticking in his head. It's cute. It's funny. It's good. You ruined it. You're a fool. I made a pretty good little piece of fan art for Cut, man. He's so cute. Hey, man, what are you doing? Oh, she's weaving between my cables and shit. I thought she was actually tugging on them, but my cat was just like walking past him. Oh, that's a nightmare. I was just putting the space for the shine, and I was just like, it's like, oh, oh god, I'm gonna die. Look at it. That's terrifying. Oh, second, there we. It's a negative, all right. It's bound to be a little scary. Yeah, I agree. Maybe why you acting like you're still hungry? We feed you so many fucking meals a day. She's like, yes, but I want more. So this is an idea that I had for the sort of, I don't want to call it a gritty reboot because I want heart in any, it's like Castlevania the anime for Netflix, right? That's exactly what I want, but for Mega Man X. And the idea that I had for something that is not necessarily explained, I don't want a midichlorians moment, right? But an idea that I had for the way that Mega Man X is the Dr. Light designed Buster works is along the same path as the light frequency spectrum, right? Because you notice the little crystal in the barrel of his Mega Buster is red when it's inactive, right? The lowest color on the light frequency spectrum is red before you get to infrared. So when it's off and it's not being used, it's at red. I think that's interesting. And then it goes to yellow, which is the next step, and eventually to blue, which is really high on the frequency spectrum. And then in Mega Man X, I don't think this was conscious, by the way. I don't know if it was or not, but it ends up working like that, right? Mega Man X, you see the perfect progression because you have the half charge in there as well, right? You got lemons to begin with, the yellow, right? Red when it's off, then you get yellow really low down, then you get green on the way to blue, and finally you get the pink charge shot when you max it out, which is the highest right before you get to ultraviolet. I think that's super fucking cool, and I think if it wasn't an intentional move, it can easily be made into one. They kind of fucked it up later with like adding a bunch of other colors, but it's fine. That I think is super interesting and could be explored. We have to reduce her food a little because the vet said she was getting kind of fat. Yes, it's true. She got used to the high life, much like my own hedonistic tendencies of wanting to eat constantly and all things. I have made an impression on my daughter, and she's becoming slightly more round by the second. So yeah, we need to. We're starting to cut back her food a little bit. So it makes sense that she's kind of like. All right. Okay, I might have a stream idea for myself. I hope you don't hate me, Bleck, but maybe I tackle redesigning Mega Man sprites. That's great. No, no. I could never hate you, Kenjamin, especially for having a good idea. It's like, no, no, I planted my Blackfoot flag on all things Mega Man, and now you're a poser. You know, no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, and also you do pixel art. I mean, as far as it's one of my special interests. So like, the more Mega Man, the better, as far as I'm concerned. Good, buddy, pal, buddy, buddy. All right, do this. Have this idea for like square eye shines for robots. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. Kind of feels like a reference to Battle Network because it's almost the same as the sort of like bolts pattern that he has on his little chest. I've already said it once. Mega Man Battle Network is amazing in terms of character designs. It's so good. I don't think there's a single Mega Man game with like a bad art direction. You know what I mean? Everything feels so like because the initial designs are so simple and straightforward, it leaves so much room for creative like interpretation. Um Honestly, I think it comes down to the helmet. Yeah, Battle Network was a fun concept too. It is the most plausible or realistic of all of the Mega Man series, in my opinion. Um, it's just internet avatar shit. Very interesting. Um, and then in I don't remember what it was called. If Matt Toby was here, he'd know. It's the one for the GameCube, the Battle Network one where Zero was there, and their Zero design was so fucking sick, dude. This is a fair remix. They did a lot of work to get it as close as possible. It could just be that I'm not used to hearing it in headphones, but I'm almost positive this is not the original. It's just a very, very good pick of midis and synths and shit. But it's good. I like Mega Man 7 soundtrack a lot. Maybe after this I'll move on to Mega Man X just because it's my favorite. Soundtrack or otherwise, goddamn. I love Mega Man X, dude. But yeah, I mean I've been in the spirit of talking about, like talk about how the simple art style and everything lends itself to interpretation. Um, some of my favorite design exercises have been involving Mega Man X characters. Um, and that's not just for like my pipe dream like fan project. Um, it's just like it's fun, like I like mech design. My ideal mecha design is like slim, like sleek aerodynamic shit, not necessarily slim, but definitely like super hard silhouettes. Like, oh, like you look at it and you're like, I bet that goes really fast, or I bet that's really sturdy, or whatever the fuck. Like immediately, right? Right? That's one reason Pokemon appeals to me so much. It's like a smorgasbord buffet for fucking character designs. Um, um, and it's just like shit that unfolds into other shit. I have an incredible weakness for. Like that robot in Samurai Jack that he fights He fights as the Stone Samurai. You know, it's like all sleek shapes. Looks kind of like this. It's like this. It's got big football shoulders, big arm, stuff like that, right? It's got like a little T face, like Samus, and it's very simple and very clear cut silhouette wise. And then it just like unfolds all these goddamn missiles and like armaments and shit like that. That kind of shit, I love it. You know, it just pops out, right? But seamlessly out of the actual shape itself. Missiles, missiles, missiles. That kind of thing I'm like addicted to. It's another reason that Armored Core hit me so hard when it came out, is because it's a lot of shit unfolding into other shit. I'm like, yeah. I don't know about you guys if you ever watch How It's Made. It's a show about like factory equipment or like the construction, different things. It's like artists, craftsmen, factories, the construction of different shit. I know for a fact listening to this that this is not the original, but it is. Again, it's a fair approximation. Should have quantized that shit, bro. Dude, now on How It's Made. It's so good. Also, that dude's dialect is so Canadian. He's like paws and claws. It's great. I love it. How you gonna massacre Freeze Man stage like this? Skip. That's better. If I were to guess, I'm assuming this dude made this shit on Famitracker, or whoever this is. Made it on Famitracker, which I greatly respect. They probably have a couple of cents for it. Wait, I don't know if they actually have sample-based shit the same way that SNES music is made. Yeah, and they changed back eventually, I think, to that original guy. I don't remember. I don't know his name, but he's the best. I love him. Yeah, yeah. I think they're both Canadian. I think Canada's like the voice acting capital of the universe or some shit. Because like everyone's, I'm like, they're all sourced in Canada, and like I love it. Ends up amazing. I'm just like, that's so specific, isn't it? Yeah, they definitely like typecast for the same kind of voice, and it was just very jarring. Well, you after like 300 episodes, you get used to a guy, right? It becomes like it becomes like a facet of the general experience, and changing that's really jarring. I don't think he should be smiling. He's gonna shoot you in the face. One channel used for lo-fi DPCM samples. I thought between the conversations about Canada and vintage or vintage emulating software that we would conjure you from lurkdom, isn't it? I think SMB3 wood blocks and timbales. Oh, it's not the original version, but this is my favorite song in Mega Man 7 because it's literally just like Bloody Tears, but Mega Man. Again, not the original. I think I'm just gonna switch to Mega Man X after this song because these versions are like fucking with me. Nothing, no offense, arcade player. It's just it's not the original. Nostalgia is a huge secret sauce. Maybe like 20 seconds. Okay, my concept of time for my stream is also really off because I'm like looking directly at OBS. Oh, let me actually scoot this over a smidge. And like there's this whole thing where you can do a special code before you start Shademan stage and it plays the Ghouls and Ghosts theme, which is awesome. But I love the Shademan theme. So I never want to use it. I'm just like, oh, everybody wants to do it when they're streaming or whatever. It's like, no, but this song is so good. Putzing around and cleaning today, enjoying the Mega Man vibes. Hell yeah, dude. Always a pleasure. Have people working and lurking. I tried to get him to not smile, but he's just so happy-go-lucky it came back anyway. He's like, oh, jeez. I think I might make his limbs a tiny bit shorter, but maybe not. We'll see. This is something where volume balance is 80% of a good mix when you're producing something. And one of the things you have to factor in volume balancing. Whoop, yeah, yeah, I need to switch that up. Please hold. I'm gonna get my own video game playlist where all of the Mega Man X soundtracks are right in a row, and I'll get that going. I guess I could also put on the Shovel Knight because it is very much. Maybe I'll do that. What do you guys think in chat? What do you think? Shovel Knight or Mega Man X? Vote now. Hey, what up? Thank you for lurking, Skinny Pig Games. You're a treasure, you're a gem, you're a jewel, you're an angel, lurking in the void, listening through the grapevine. Where the fuck? Between the playlist I was listening to got to stuff that I was not super into and was not exactly there it is, gaming OSTs. It is 55 hours and 42 minutes of game shit, album by album, loaded up in here, willy and or nilly. Title, password, game style. Oh yeah. What is happening here? Why did they remove some shit? Ooh. All right, there we go. There we go. Wait, did y'all even vote? That's a lot of hours, right? It's a lot. It's much. Big much. All right, let's do Mega Man X. I'm feeling it. It made me want to draw Mega Man X, but you know what? I'm not gonna. That's the sound of my childhood right there in a nutshell. Boom. All right, good. Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking too, isn't it? And that's why I overrode the vote that was in Potentia and I just went straight for the jugular of Mega Man X. Straight for the jugular. This little guy. He's so happy to about to be shooting your face off. Yeah. Another thing I like about the fact that amazing. Yes. Awesome. Your retroactive vote came to fruition. Um Another thing I like about shit unfolding, you know what I mean? Like a robot's like mechanisms unfolding and stuff like that, right? Is it feels like it gives purpose to what could otherwise be meaningless detail just for the sake of adding it, which don't get me wrong, adding details is very important for mecha design. But if you can add a purpose to something that looks cool, I eat that shit up. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's my favorite. There is a term that I believe was coined for Star Wars, or it could have just been for sci-fi shit in general when you're adding detail, especially to little models. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's where it originated. The term is greebling, which is just like adding little fucking bits and bobs and shit to make something look larger, even if it's like a tiny little model, right? The more detail you add, the more it conveys size. Yeah, Agreeables with a Purpose is fucking great. There you go. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I added a swear to your freaking. I made it fuck. You're welcome, and I'm sorry. Mega Man X soundtrack is literally one of my favorites of all video game history. God, it goes so hard all the time. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Kench. See? Credence! Credence to my fun factory. Kench is a source you can trust, unlike me, most of the time. But this time, I got it. Alright. He will not be able to fit his arm over his big ass head. Hmm. I mean, fuck it up as much as you want. See, I did it. All right. Big hand. You guys got any projects today? Working on anything specific, or just doing job shit? You know, it's cleaning, good shit. Song scared me when I was a kid. Vile or Vava. That's his fucking name, dude. In Japanese, Vile. His name is Vava. I don't know why. Vava is you. There it is. Yeah, you can see it on the thing. It says Vava. It says Vava 1. Vava is you. There it is. That shit's funny as hell. You will quake in fear at the name Vava. Here it comes. Laughing in his giant fucking robot like, ho ho hee hee, I will punch. Such an ominous tune for this little friend here. I'm gonna kill your family. Oh God. Help. I can never decide how much headroom to add. Big fucking shins, man. Shit's iconic. I wonder if Keiji Inafune knew. I think it's hard. It's hard to imagine Keiji Inafune doing shit purposefully. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, dude. He's one of the most iconic character designers of video game history, and God bless him. He reads to me as kind of a putz sometimes. Like, I don't know, like Mighty Number 9 was, I think, when a lot of people were just like, okay. Because the game kind of shit the bed, put all of our hopes and dreams into it, took our money, made something that was very lackluster. Never played it myself. I've heard only meh things, which is somehow worse than it being bad. Like, colossally bad. It's like, it's not even funny. It's not even interesting. The designs were sick as fuck. Intercreates, who did a lot of work on the Mega Man Zero, Mega Man ZX series. They made Blaster Master Zero, which is a sick ass fucking game based on the original entry in the NES. But like, yeah, Inafune seems like kind of a putz sometimes, at least. Great character, like such iconic fucking character design though. I think sometime like after a few games in Mega Man X, he kind of went off the rails in terms of color additions. Like he's just like, I have to use every Crayola marker at least 6 colors per design, like little weird pockets of like, ooh, and you're like, oh man. It's like Sigma's original design was like foreshadowing for it because he's got like brown boots, super saturated green chest, blue fucking arms, red cloak, purple eye thing, red crystal, blue like it's a mess kind of like it. But at the same time, it feels like there's something almost like childlike about it, right? And you could, and I did, you get like the Crayola markers and just go to town with like very saturated colors and shit like that, and it was like very, it felt at home. So like, there's something to be said for that, dude. A love letter to Lisa Frank. Lisa Frank Mega Man is like that's like a fucking huge aesthetic right there. That's huge. Lisa Frank, apparently morally reprehensible, by the way. Just a monster of a person, from what I hear. So that's something. Just like sweatshop shit and stuff like that. Little fucking little high notes in there is so fun. The workers at Lisa Frank called their offices the Rainbow Gulag. Yikes. That's some funny shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. That was such an important look in the 90s though. The Lisa Frank Empire. All right, so it's getting a little bit more complicated, but Mega Man deserves it, you know what I mean? All right, so we're going to start with a little beam of light. There are documentaries on the shit show that was Lisa Frank. Yeah, her husband at the time was big into coke and stealing the company. Jesus. Oh man. What a story, Mark. That's nuts. I know he's going to beam down. What a cool idea. I'm going to do a little splibbity splap. He lands here. Oh, Chill Penguin's theme is sick, dude. That arpeggio. Yeah. In the spirit of greebling and mech design, I've talked about it before on stream, but mine when I was a kid, it was always this. There's a couple of them, but like like say I'm drawing like a pod of something, or like it's really big into Gundam wings, so you got a lot of really aerodynamic head appendages was like a huge thing. But like say, you just like it's like the arm of some kind of robot or whatever the fuck, right? Looks kind of like a finger now that I'm looking at it. It's really hard to recapture like what your art style and habits were when you were a kid, especially, when you develop new habits. My big one though was this. It's like it's like 2 lines, right? And then 2 lines. Like that equals sign, little vent, whatever it was, everywhere. I'm thinking about it like old robot designs and shit like that I would do. You know, you get like these plates, and you get these guys right here. You see that shit everywhere, and from a distance, it looks great. I probably got that directly from Gundam because I think they do that sometimes. When I figured out how to do the Gundam chest vents, little titty vents, that's like that was such a huge moment for me because I was just looking at it. I was like, what are they doing here? Right? It was just like so hype. Like, look, see, they're drawing mechs with black. Oh, that's such a good name for a thing. 1 month maybe, but yeah, check it out. Like, look, see, so you got a rectangle, right? Just one line, and repeat. One line, one line, one line, one line, and then boom. That's a fucking vent right there, man. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. That's some venting ass shit. Mogus. But yeah, like little fun stuff, you know. And then I was a big fan of the oversized screw. Don't take that out of context. And how dare you? But yeah, they're putting like you repeat the same line right over that, like concentric circles. Mechs with Black stream in March. You're a genius, and I appreciate you. I will do that. I forgot about that. I always love seeing Rabbit King's entries. My good buddy, Rabbit King. Good buddy, good pal. So good to see my friends doing the March of the Robots. I should do that as well, and I will do Mechs with Black all month. That's an idea that I'm writing down now, and we have it on stream, so we're good. But yeah, you get the idea, right? Like it's just like boom, that's a robot arm or a robot leg. You put a foot on it, that kind of shit. Anyway, fun stuff. Simple shapes greebled to shit purposefully. Yeah, I've been trying to use my addiction to Armored Core for justice by making like art for it. So maybe I'll do that. Okay, so we got laser. I'm gonna need to time this. Bro, Boomerang Kuwanger. What a fucking name. Yeah, right? Oh man. That's right, he won. Damn. What a beast. What a baller. What a fine gentleman. Yeah. Laser, boom, spans three, boom, absence. He's coming together. Let's get this little onion skin going. I love the fact that when Boomer Koanger shows up, he puts a little disco thing up, and that like further drives this as like a disco. Like I always thought this was like it was like yeah, I called this disco. It clearly isn't, but it is a jam that he disco dances to. Yeah, I remember that actually. Now that you mention it, Kenj, he won 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Hell yeah! Hey, you so fucking awesome. Congrats. Yeah, I've been so low profile on Instagram this whole year, which is a shame because I could be using it in conjunction with streaming. But it's just like especially with like the shit that they're just like talking about with like scraping your shit for AI. It's like I don't know. It's just really gross and discouraging. And like regular art, oh fuck my neck. Regular art and like posts just do shit now after Reels became TikTok too by their design. Damn, that's great. Yeah, I'm sorry. I spend I only pop on Instagram to like post a few things, and if I'm lucky, I see shit from my friends. But I'm pretty bad about actually doing shit on Instagram. You know? Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll have him do the thing that he did. Stinkamillions. Mox and I would always call him Stinkamillion. He stinks a million times. That's why I call him Stinkamillion. Stinkamillion's theme is underrated, I think. Well, also not only is your art enjoyable to look at, pixel art such a is such a good thing to be doing on social media because there's nothing else like it really. Like it's a niche community that's big enough to march shit. You know what I mean? Straight up forgot not everyone calls him Stinkamillion. Yeah, well, now they will, or else. No, but yeah, pixel art's such a good idea because it's equal parts niche and huge. It's the only thing that you get with that tag, right? And it's hard to do. It's hard for AI to do, as well. Hard for it to do cleanly and perfectly. So it's just like it's a good move, and I've seen many people, including yourself, blow up within that tag. Like Rich 1984 pixels, super good. Um, it's just fun. Yeah, it's just fun to see. Like it's such a passionate and nostalgia woven medium to be working with. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because it doesn't understand that it's on a grid, and it probably can't because it compiles shit, right? Unless it was lucky enough to get multiple things in exactly the same resolution, and even still, it doesn't understand, right? It need Pixel art's really cool for that, needing a human touch to actually really work for this in this day and age, right? You know, it's a good thing to have that sort of like guarantee. How's his hair go? Something like that. Easy to forget Mega Man has hair. Basing it on his warp in from Mega Man 8. Love that game. My watch keeps telling me to stand. No, I'm streaming. I'm gonna adjust that real quick. Ah, thank you. Good idea. I will hydrate. Lest I dehydrate. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Alright. I want him to have a big ear. Spiky hair. Okay. Add a little thingamathing here. It's gonna be all silhouetted there in white. I'm gonna turn out the onion skins for a second. I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger to convey that it's closer to the screen. There we go, and then we'll have him coming up. I'll make that larger as well. I remember hearing this stage about 1,000 fucking times because You got to go through it multiple times to get the Hadoken. At least that's what my brother and I thought. We didn't know how many exactly. I think looking back at it now, you have to go through it 3 times, and you have to get the health power up at the end every time. I think that's the after you have everything else in terms of the X armor, all of the hearts, stuff like that. That's when you can go get the Hadoken at the end of the stage. A nice little fun Easter egg, and is also an instant kill, which is great when you're refighting the bosses and you don't give a shit. You're just like, I don't get. I think there was one version that didn't include the little noise that Mega Man made when we go Hadouken, and it's like I was heartbroken. Shit's so funny. It's like okay, it's the best. He's just a little guy. Whack. We'll do this. A little in between here. I'll make this pose last a little longer. We're just starting it at a total of 4 frames each, and then I'll actually adjust the length later. Okay, we'll do. Oops, that. Oh, I was just thinking about face animation and drawing and stuff like that, and I was reminded we just saw Tokyo Godfathers, my wife and I, for the first time yesterday. That shit's amazing. That movie is legitimately incredible. Like, it's our new favorite Christmas movie. We're gonna like. We've already said we're just gonna watch this every year from now on. It's such a weird movie. It's just such an odd mixture of like super raw cutting commentary, wholesome shit, like goofy shit, like some stuff that was very progressive for its time, and like really interesting and cool depictions of queer characters, and like a little window into Okama culture, which is like Japanese drag queens. It's a whole thing. Um, just such a fucking cool movie. It had so much heart. It was so strange, and I loved every second of it. God, it was good. He's just a little snowman right now. I got the weapon. Boy, I really have that weapon right now. Fucking Sigma. This is Keiji Inafune's favorite expression. A little triangle mouth. That's it. There it is. Every fucking character. You can even see it on the box art if you look at the fucking thing for this. You see at least I think Mega Man himself is like it's I would say a snarl is the best way to describe it. An isosceles snarl. Little perfect little isosceles fucking triangle right here. I think that's an isosceles. I don't actually care, but I think it's an isosceles. I feel like your ability to convey an actually good and plausible bass riff in lower fidelity sound is like a really good indicator of how proficient your composition skills are. Um, Great example is Final Fight 3, one of my favorite video game soundtracks of all time. It's phenomenal. If you never played the game, find a way to emulate it. It's so good. It's just incredibly fun. One of my favorite side-scrolling beat 'em ups. One, as I said, like not just for beat 'em ups, just in general, one of my favorite video game soundtracks. I listen to that shit on the reg, maybe once a month. Just get my fix. Um, Incredible. Uh, Bass work in that, fantastic. Bomberman 64, super good bass work. These bass lines is like whether it's actually played by a person on the bass or not doesn't matter. It feels like it. Great composition. Yeah, really, really tremendous work. Little Popeye arms, real quick. I almost want him to have like battle mode arms, like regular. He has little regular size hands, and they kind of come together. I think that could be neat. But I'll leave it. I want to have big chunky arms. Maybe I'll just add maybe I'll just add the little squares or little butter sticks of butter on his hands. That's what they look like, isn't it? Talk about butterfingers. When the little arpeggio kicks in here. Like that's sick. This is an underrated song. I don't hear about this one. I don't hear this one being mentioned anywhere near enough. It's so good. Again, the VOD watchers are like, what the fuck are you talking about? You look at it right, it says right there. Right, hold on. Right there. You see it down there? Look it up. It's sick. I think there's something universal about animate style transformations. And that's not just coming from like magical girl tokusatsu shit, like henshin hero shit, like Power Rangers, that kind of thing. There's something so compelling about hitting a button or doing a pose or conjuring or whatever the fuck you do to cause you to be like yourself, like just like a human being, but like like it hits different when it's like if you're in like a giant robot or stuff like that. It is not quite the same energy, though it is adjacent, which is why they end up paired together so hard. As you have like being the shape that is unmistakably human, right? Spandex or otherwise, I don't give a shit, right? Armor. This song's so fucking funny and weird. Um, you're the shape of a human. You're just like you got a different kind of head, like a helmet, an object, anything, right? And you got like magic powers and shit, right? It is like universal, especially if you're like under the trans umbrella. I don't know what the overlap is with that, but it is like you got Cardcaptor Sakura, Sailor Moon, fucking like Power Rangers, that kind of thing. Beetleborgs, shout out to Beetleborgs, chaotic as fuck show, sick ass designs for everything. Um, I just love that shit, man. There's nothing that hits quite the same as like a henshin, like henshin style transformation. I guess that's kind of what Superman does, but he's like wearing it. You know what I mean? Like it's something so cool about like Kamen Rider shit. You know what I mean? You hit a transformation sequence that they managed to be able to put like a shit ton of money into because they get to replay it constantly. They're like, we only have to do it once, so let's make it really good. And it's just like, oh fuck yeah, that's like 3 minutes that we don't have to worry about for each episode. Just roll it. God, it's just like I think there's something so appealing about. I wonder if there's something, some connectivity, like you can see it across time, right? Being like, it's not obviously this might be a little blasphemous, but like the kind of a comparison between like God as man. You know what I mean? You're a human being, but there's something crazy, magical, or special about you, right? I feel like that's just a naturally appealing concept, and it just goes in different directions. Um, Speaking of Henshin heroes, did you guys ever see Ronin Warriors? It's literally Sailor Moon for boys, but it's tight. Liberace and Jay Leno do the fusion dance to become Flabber, and it is probably my favorite thing from Beetleborgs. Oh my god. That is exactly what he looks like. That is 100% like that is so accurate what you just said. It's so funny how like that role was made for Robin Williams or Jim Carrey, and that guy didn't have it, but he tried his best. But like that's exactly who the role was written for. Dude, I was showing Moxie Beetleborgs. Man, Sigma's theme is going so hard right now. He's jumping around. I can see it in my mind. Fucking love Ronin Warriors, right? And it was beautiful. Like the scrolls, the scrolls of different flowers wrapping around them and shit was objectively like there was something feminine about it. There was something very beautiful and stirring about it, but it was still like it's like it was very like, you know, like for boys, shonen shit. But like it was so cool. Fucking loved that show. When he became the white, it's just I wanted to say White Ranger. It's literally just like Power Rangers, but with samurai. I had some toys. The Wind Guy was my favorite. Something about someone with like hair over their eyes always gets me. Troa from Gundam Wing. I always thought Troa was hot. When I met my wife, she had like the hair over one eye. It's just always gets me. Always gets me. I don't know what it is. Yeah, the Wind Guy was the hot one, I think. Uh, he had like the it was like a spear or a naginata, and he had like cool horns. He was the lightning guy. I think that's what he was. He was the green one. I don't remember. It was dope though. The toys for that show were fucking awesome, as they should be, because it was made for merchandising. Ronin Warriors was sick. Look it up. I don't remember what it's called in Japanese, but it's sick. I love those transformation sequences. They were so fucking cool. Yeah, it was a great show. I remember it being really good. Like it was just good Saturday morning shit, you know what I mean? I always thought this was really interesting as a choice for the final boss's final form, because the first theme that was just before this, the you know, like going so fucking hard, it reflects the playstyle of Sigma jumping around and the intensity of, oh god, he's gonna kick my ass. But this is like, I feel like there's like a desolation to this. There's like a it the I feel like the feeling it is designed to convey is hopelessness. It's like, oh god, he's gonna kick my ass and there's nothing I can do, is more what it is, as opposed to holy shit, I'm fighting this man. It's like I'm losing this battle. And I think it's a really interesting, very somber choice for the final fight against Sigma. And especially somber for my brother and I, because I trust my brother my brother's 4 years older than me. I was always watching him play, and then I got to play the game, right? His word was gospel as far as I was concerned, and I trust this man with my life, whatever, right? Like whatever he says, he knows the tips and tricks. I know he probably looked at game facts. We got it. I trust him. We were convinced because I think he tried everything, and for some reason he didn't hit with the one that we needed. But he and I both thought that you could not fight Beast Sigma or the Wolf Sigma, whatever you want to call it, without hitting him for the with the fully charged shot. Because it's the only thing that did any damage. It did 1 damage, right? He's weak to rolling shield. You don't have to charge that shit at all. It does like 1 or 2. It might still only do 1, but it's still his weakness. And I played the game for years, only chipping him away 1 at a time. And when I found that out, like, I think it was my sister-in-law was just like, oh yeah, he's rolling shield. I'm like, you what? What do you mean? What do you mean? Right? Like, all the wasted years. It was so funny. I was so upset. Samurai Troopers. That was it. Yes. Thank you, Kenj. Yeah, I looked it up, and the Japanese name for Ronin Warriors was Armored Legends Samurai Troopers. That show ripped. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, I only got one of the toys, but it was so dope. Let's see. And then we're there he goes. Yeah. All right. Here we go. So, in the spirit of like thinking about like how one would reorganize the ideas presented over the course of the Mega Man X series, right? Into basically make it as if the concepts had been present the entire time, right? Kind of just culminating it, packaging it, and shipping it as a self-contained narrative. The idea would be to do Maverick Wars, you know, Sigma's rise and fall, Elf Wars, and then the whatever happens afterwards with Mega Man Zero itself. Oh, the Orange Rock Guy's toy turned into a beetle, and I wanted it so bad. Yo, what the fuck? That is awesome. God, that's outrageous. I love shit that transforms, man. I love it. I love shit that transforms. I always have. Beast Wars and Transformers, man. That was the shit growing up. Is there like is it like, I don't know. Is it the gender fluidity? Is that what causes the like my absolute obsession with shit like that, or is it like are they just compatible while parallel? I wonder. It's very interesting. Kind of has like a lightweight kind of mullet thing going on. It's just that anime haircut. I think I need to make that a little bigger. Ah. There we go. Little depth. That's cute. Okay, I'm really liking this so far. I don't know about y'all. I'm gonna turn off the onion skin so I can scrub properly. So let me actually duplicate this so that it's just a pure blank background. This song is so sweet and triumphant. I feel like I graduated from high school in the 80s. It's a great I think that is the vibe that every credits sequence should have in a video game. It's I graduated from the game. Mario 64, flawless example. There's never I feel like that's one of the best credits themes in any game of all time is the Mario 64 credits theme. Holy shit. That was a good era for Koji Kondo. It was a good era. I like this staff roll too. It's like, okay, cool, we did the victory lap, and then, oh yeah. This is, and like at the end of this, Sigma being like, I'm not dead, Austin. I'm not dead. You know what I mean, right? Like, that was a cool like teaser, as opposed to the aforementioned horse shit, hog ass garbage of just like, he's gonna have to kill Zero. Who knows why? We don't. Silly nonsense. And then they had to fucking shoehorn a bunch of bullshit in there to make it come to fruition. Anyway. All right, so zap. Let's do one. Duplicate that. Give him some armure. My head is a lemon. I'm ready for any battle. You guys have seen Drunk Orson Welles, right? This is one commercial for a California champagne by Paul Masson, and he's just shit faced. And maybe he's sampled the wares that he's peddling a little bit too indulgently, but it is legitimately so fucking funny. Oh, the sound effect track, I don't need that. Thank you. I'll hear that any number of times though. But yeah, Orson Welles sitting in the fucking in a table and he's just like and they're like 102 take one. He's like, ah, the French champagne's known for its excellence. And he's like, he's got the bottle right here. He's like, this is a California champagne by Paul Masson. It's excellence. And then like another take, he's just got his head in his hands. They're like 102 take three. He's like, ah, the French. Very much worth a watch if you have a second. It's so fucking funny. Yes, I just played Locomotive, and they totally make fun of drunk Orson Welles. It's delightful. It's so funny. Ah, the French. Yeah, Mega Man X2. Um, I really, really like the soundtrack. I think it's the first instance of a couple of weak tracks, not terrible, just less heavy hitters than X1. X1, I don't think there's a weak sound like a weak song in the entire thing. It is banger after banger. All of them are fantastic. X2 is like it's like yeah, it's rock solid rock man. But not not like completely airtight. There's a couple songs like okay, yeah, that's cool. X1, I'm like I will listen to any of these forever. Like you don't even notice if you're going through the stage. It's fucking righteous. This song is what gets me to play Mega Man X2. That intro where he's like, poor green guy's like, oh yeah, oh no, gets shot down. You're like, no, green guy. You don't know his name. You don't know his abilities. He's like popping a wheelie. He gets his shit blown up. There's like memes on the internet of him just like, never forget. It's like a badge. It's shit's so fucking funny. But this song it goes so fucking hard. Oh my god. I love it so much. God damn. But yeah, I was just like I get the song in my head and I'm like, fuck, I need to play Mega Man X2 and then it just carries me through the entire thing, momentum wise. I think that's a good indicator of if you like of how hard you gotta go on at least the first song. Kind of reminds me, talk about all this like transforming shit and nostalgic media and stuff like that. There was one middle era Transformers cartoon, and it was mostly 2D with an occasional 3D segment, and it the art style was like okay, it was fine, but it wasn't great. It was very like it was like shittier Bakugan looking or whatever it was called. Yeah, Bakugan. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is like so it's like 2 degrees down from Yu-Gi-Oh, but still that era of anime. Um, it was mediocre, I would say, and they popped off insanely hard for the first first episode. I think I remember watching with my brother. Like that was fucking cool. Like they did some crazy shit with animation, and I guess they ran out of budget. They were like, ah, good enough. We got them now, and it worked for a few episodes. And I was like, yeah, okay. You can only see this segment so many times, right? Like the same transformation sequence. Um, but that's kind of what it reminds me of. Like you got to put so much effort into the first impression. You know what I mean? However good the rest of your game, it don't like it shouldn't taper off that hard. That's a very upsetting thing to experience as a player, but also like I really think you got to load your demo, your first impression as hard as possible at least, right? Just like figure out a way to continue that momentum because like God, thinking about the first exposure to Mega Man X, it was in demos. I think it was in like a Funko Land back when those existed, which was crazy. This is the predecessor to GameStop. Um, Shit was righteous. They did a really good job, like just putting the demo out there. It was like, oh shit, that was awesome. Same thing with Sonic Adventure. Yo, the intro that launched 1,000 Dreamcasts, bro. Holy shit. You've seen that whale going like, you're like, ah, this is awesome. And then fucking Crush 40. Oh my god, so good. If you like point and click adventure games, I highly recommend Locomotive. You know, I haven't played too many of them, but I love watching them. Especially, is it 2D animated? Is it that's my favorite. Like old school Sam and Max, watching people play through that. Um, Jack Draws games if you're still lurking and working. Jack Draws did some streams of Sam and Max, and really, that game is fucking awesome. I think it was Hit the Road. I think it was a couple, but it was great. Fucking Wire Sponge, dude. 2D pixel art? Yes. 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 Pajama Sam too, like humongous games, stuff like that. I've been seeing them popping up more and more, and they're really great. I love them. That's super cool, and especially now that I'm streaming, it kind of gives me like a reason, like that I could justify playing video games. You know what I mean? I wish I had more money, but thank you. The subscription, this will not go to waste. Yes. Yeah, if you like Monkey Island, Sam & Max, it hits all those marks. Phenomenal. Say no more, fam. Yes, love it. Okay, there we go. Here's a little. That's great. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Thank you. Wire Sponge, man. The fuck? All these animal people things, all these fighting furries that you encounter. Here they are. This dude's a penguin. This dude's a mammoth. Looks like an elephant. He's a mammoth. It's like Wire Sponge. What is this thing doing here? Oh, okay, it's a cactus. Okay, it hits you with whips. Okay, like cactuses do, and it controls the weather. What are we doing here? Is there something I'm missing? Is there a context that I am lacking here for the presence of this sponge? I don't remember what his name translates to, but it's a weird guy. He's a weird guy. I do love the fact you can cut him in half though. That's awesome as fuck. Anytime you can do that in a game, it's just a good time. Oh, speaking of which, I need to figure out where and how to play Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Because I've had it recommended to me a couple of times, and I'm just like, God, I really want to fucking play it. Like, it's so silly and so much fun. And I like cutting stuff in half, so like, yeah, hell yeah. I gotta find a way to play that game. So I had because I can't do anything without coming up with like ideas for character design and stuff like that. It's it's kind of a problem actually. Nothing ever stays simple, but also it's like encourages me to sort of like practice character design for like, when I end up doing it for projects, professional or otherwise, stuff like that. It's just it's immediately what my brain goes to. What can this thing do? Right? What makes it special? What makes it fun? Um, and I had this idea that Mega Man would have. This was before Mega Man 11, by the way. Um, I think there's something similar in it, but I had a similar idea where it's like, what if instead of it started because of the color thing, right? His whole body changes, right? Um, and I was thinking about that in relation to Mega Man Zero, which when you equip different like form chips or whatever the fuck you call them, right? The palette swaps all make you play a little bit differently, either giving you a different attack, making things behave differently, making you have higher defense but lower attack, yada yada, that kind of shit, right? And I was thinking, I kind of osmosed that, and I was like, what if we applied that to like classic Mega Man, right? And sort of like, if you made a game from there, what if he had like drives depending on like it was a more noticeable change per power and a different play style. Like instead of like not a full character, not a full character swap, but like a move set swap, like like Devil May Cry, right? It's like you change weapons. You're actually changing weapons, the way that you perform. Um, and I just thought that'd be super interesting. Just do away with the sort of ammo mechanic, or at least only make it matter for like super attacks or something like that, right? Or the ranged attacks, right? So like for Cutman, he would actually get like swords on his back, or like different like like they'd be. I guess I can actually draw, so I can show you, right? I had this idea where like it wouldn't just be color swapping for the sake of visibility as far as the player is concerned, which is very helpful, especially when you didn't have the ability to display much information on heads-up displays. But like, like if his regular Buster, ends up being like this, right? I made it like a little cute little capsule shape, a little pill shape, right? And then he does that. He's got the little thingamathings where his fingers turn into, right? That's his usual Mega Buster, right? Like what if, and he shoots the little lemons. What if like when he absorbed Cutman's ability, right? It was like this, you know, maybe his hands are less the emphasis, right? And he had little like things like that turned into the scissors from there, right? Like they came together like this, and then like unfold, and maybe he could unfold them one at a time and get like a more close. I want close range options after playing Zero. That's pretty much the long and the short of it, and what I the just means of justifying it. But like that kind of shit, right? Like what if instead of just, oh, I can shoot another thing out of my funny little arm gun, it's like now my funny little arm gun becomes this, right? I don't know. it's it's sad because that's kind of like the concept behind Mighty Number 9. Like he gained more than just a color and an ability. He gained like a whole new way of playing. That was the concept, and everybody was super excited. We built it around his dash, and from everything that I hear, it just fell short. Jabbering, shredding my throat, bro. Here we go. Much better. All right, helmet and gloves. Um, I think the Maverick designs in X2 were a sort of similar situation to the soundtrack, which is that it had really high spots. It's like Mega Man X is consistently dope in my opinion, from design to stage to like from character design to music and stuff like that. And then X2, the parts that hit hard might have hit harder in some places, but it almost like the level of general level of quality was just spread differently and allocated differently. That's kind of how I feel. Um, but yeah, like Flame Stag's design is fine. I'm like okay with Flame Stag. Um, Morph Moth, I'm a little biased towards because it looks just like um, there was like a specific echelon of kind of like knockoff mecha toys and stuff like that were like all like electroplated and like iridescent like pink plastic because they like just figured out how to do that on the cheap. And I had one that was like a moth, looked almost it was like dead ringer for Morph Moth. Just like different, slightly different color blocking and stuff like that. But I was like that. I just think of that dude makes me happy. Okay, fade in there. Yeah, yeah. He's a happy little guy. He's ready to murder. Zoom in real quick. The screen shake for this stage is important, but it kind of like fucks with me now that I'm getting a little older. I'm just like, ugh, ugh, ugh. It's like the entire time because you're in a fucking giant truck thing. It's a train without tracks. You're a giant truck thing. I forget what they call it, but you get the point. Let's see. I'm getting better at visualizing shit, but it is still hard to execute at my current level. I need to get better at posing, which means I need to do more life drawing or, referencing actual humans posing. That shit is actually invaluable for your art. It's good for so many different things. So I just need to get better at it. We're just gonna ignore the fact that his his arm would not be able to navigate around his enormous head. We're just going to ignore that. We're going to gloss over it because very soon it's going to be out of the frame. Angry eyes for a second. Mr. Angry Eyes. You should hold that pose for a little bit longer than the rest of the stuff. All right. Beep, 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 beep. I'm going to make that take a little bit less time, even still. We at 12? Yeah. Nice. All right. It's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I'm going to turn my hand into a Fabergé egg real quick. Don't worry about it. Cha 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 cha. Yo. Okay. I think the idea, both from a gameplay standpoint and story standpoint, I think the idea of having to reassemble Zero's parts, or he becomes like, or he gets taken by the bad guys and turned evil. I think that shit's so fucking cool. Like that's such an interesting idea. They had to retroactively, like they had to retcon his original concept move set in because they based everything around the theming of, like it was the first one was kind of a coming of age tale for X, right? And taking up the mantle of Zero, sacrificing himself. They ended up giving, you know, X's eventual Buster to Zero so that he could give it to X. If you didn't find the X arms, they were very hard to find, right? Like, well, that wasn't super hard to find, but if you were a kid, maybe. Anyway, they made it so that no matter what, you had at least that. If you somehow missed every other power up that it didn't force on you, you at least had the arms because it's one of the only ways you can fight Sigma. Um, uh, and they sacrificed his full moveset. Zero was originally going to be Mega Man X. Keiji Inafune is like, yeah, man, he's got horns and shit. He's got a sword. And everybody's like, this doesn't look like Mega Man. He's like, hey, man, fuck you. I love this guy. We're going to put him in. He's got a sword. He's awesome. And they're like, yeah, well, okay, but like, let's make it fit the actual narrative of the game. He's like, fine, okay, fine, go ahead. See if I care. Here he goes. Take his cool ass arm cannon that I made, and I gave him one that will fit this blue guy over here we're saddled with. And then like they kind of just like I almost feel like it ends up working okay. You're like, oh shit, he's stronger now, right? Like when you actually see him. The way that I think of it is like they didn't want, like, say like within the context of the story, maybe they didn't want Zero in his fully powered state because Wily designed him to be an absolute killing machine, whether they know his origins or not. Hortz and Swartz, thank you. That's applied learning, goddammit. That's the Blackvoot brand. Brant spread around. Hortz. See how much zestier that is? But yeah, theoretically you could think of it like he was, like they didn't want him at his absolute full power because that's like way too much, right? I don't know. Me too. I've always loved Zero's design as well. Crystal tits and all. He's my favorite. He's the best. The little androgyny from his flowing mane of locks. He's like so fucking strong. He's like, don't worry, baby, I got you. And you call him in X3, the Zero Call. I'm on my way. And then he could just die. You could just kill him and he just doesn't come back. I always get the Z-Saber in X3, which means I always kill my boy on purpose with that fucking dragonfly dude. He's like, ah, shit, my power core. Here you go, take my sword. You're like, yeah, sorry, yeah. It's awesome. Oh, it's so cool. But yeah, I don't know. The retconning of giving him his old powers back, like it's just kind of interesting to me as like a moment. Zero is Bishy. I'm into Bishy boys. His eyeliner has always been on fleek. This song, I just think of all of the hoops I jumped through to get the Sure You Can in the fucking, you know what I mean? Like, it's so annoying to get the Sure You Can, but it's such a fun Easter egg. And again, I really like a secret that you can use in battle. Cosmetic shit's fun. You know, like a weapons. I think like a weapon or something adjacent's great. Shit like that is really funny. Like when it's an insta kill, it's really funny. And both X1 and X2 had that. I mean, like X3 kind of had like I kind of like the fact that it's stronger when X uses it because it's like kind of like conveys his adaptability. Oh fuck, here he is. So I don't have it right here. Um, but the redesign that I did for Zero, I factored in specifically his ability to do what he does in this game and X3, which is the 1-2 slash. That's super important to me. That's iconic as fuck. Right? There's nothing cooler than that shit. Like when you're playing Mega Man X, you're just like, yeah, awesome. And then he's just like, yeah, I got two of these and a fucking thing on my back that's like almost an insta kill. It's like, dude, bro, styling on me all the time. I want to be you. I love how fucking short Sigma's first form loops are in both X1 and X2. They're like, yeah, you're not supposed to be here for long. Don't get too used to it. It's just like they both go super hard and then don't stay long. It's just very funny to me. All right, we're coming together. I'm gonna do some more in betweens before the stream is over, but check it out. Yeah, so cute. Yeah, awesome. Okay, and then I'll do a little thing here. I think this theme is pretty cool. Um, they definitely had not planned the Sigma virus, but I think it's a very cool idea. Thank you. Whenever I read, and I'm gonna definitely do this when I eventually play the Mega Man X games on stream, because there's no way I'm not. I'm gonna play probably the original Mega Man X. I'm gonna play all of them, even the bad ones. So it'll be my first time actually playing all the way through Mega Man X7, and I can't think of a better way to do it than to live react on stream to the silly shit that occurs within that game. It is a disaster, and I'm ready for it. Some point during, you know, next year, definitely gonna do the full Mega Man X series, include, and then maybe move on to Zero. So it's gonna be a lot. Maybe I'm gonna do Mega Monday instead of Music Monday. I love Music Monday. It's very important for me to have it, but also I love doing things month to month so that I can like really sink my teeth into it and make sure that it's a good or a bad idea. And if it's a bad idea, just live with it and be like, okay, cool, I confirm that this is not good. Or like eventually warm up to like, okay, cool, I made it work. You know, that kind of thing. Month to month, I think is the way to do it. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to playing through these. Every time I do, every time I play through a Mega Man X game, Moxie could tell you, um, I always read Dr. Light's voice as the delivery from Mega Man 8 cutscenes, the infamous, well, Dr. Huawei, we may be able to locate the energy sources immediately, Mega Man. That shit is so funny. Oh my god. It's unbelievable. It's so good. Like you know you could do more than one take, right? They're like, we don't speak English. We just give it to the first person you see who could speak English. You grab them off the street. You don't understand the different takes. You know what I mean? You don't need them if you don't understand the first one, right? Just like, yeah, sure, it sounded like English. Good to go. I think I'm gonna hold the. Hold on, turn off the onion skin real quick. Boom. I'm gonna have it slowly coming up. Whatever, I might as well just make a little rough for that as well. I've always liked this theme a lot. It's really nice. I don't know if they have the arranged version of the Mega Man X3 soundtrack, but I might just skip past. I might just skip past. Oh, good, I actually did. I legitimately, I was like, I don't know that bitch about X3's original soundtrack because. Hey, welcome back, Animort. We look at what we got so far. Mega Man X4 was fucking sick, dude. Pew. Yeah. Pew. Doing a little fan animation for the Blue Bomber. Blue Bomber himself. Little Blue Bomber. Thanks, Obama. Yeah, I definitely want it to read like that same exact rhythm from Mega Man 8 where he goes boo, whoop, and then he composes and he puts on his helmet. Like it just spawns on him. I think that shit's so fucking cool. Add another frame there. We're just getting a pretty solid rough animation down. This is why heads having circles in them is very convenient. Oh, hell yeah. I would love to. Um yeah, let me see if I could figure out timing and everything. Did you get your PSN situation sorted out, bud? I know it was a fucking nightmare. Is it working again? That shit sucks, dude. Getting locked out of something like that. Garbage. I'm super stoked for the new season of The Ladder in the Armored Core Discord. That was so much fun. And it's like a lot better for me to have something that I can schedule instead of just kind of like playing it all the time. You know what I mean? It's better for me in my productivity. Ooh, your wife conquered the demon. Oh my god. What an amazing gift that she has given you. Thank you, Animort's wife. You're an angel. Fucking awesome. Well, congratulations. Good to have you back. Yeah, I fucking love transformation sequences so much. Even knowing fully, like a lot of their role is theoretically, at least in some contexts, to cut costs. Because as I said before on stream, like you animate something really well once, and then you guarantee that you can play it every episode. That's like 3 to 5 minutes that you don't have to worry about animating or paying for again. So like theoretically it is a utilitarian move, but it also happens to be hype as fuck. So it's like the best of both worlds as far as I'm concerned. we go. Just a little guy. I do like the fact that X and Zero have different opening stage themes in X4. I feel like X4 is like it's definitely one of my favorites in the series. Like obviously X1 holds a very special place in my heart, and I think it is one of the strongest entries in the X series, of course. I like both X and X1 and 2. I feel like 3 feels more like a sequel. Like I don't feel like it brings I feel like it brings a lot of mechanics to the table, but not in a way that I necessarily needed. You know what I mean? Like X4 really feels like where the series wanted to be going. I don't know how much of that in terms of the like some of the questions it brings up are interesting, like Repliforce, like being a nation of Reploids seceding. That could have been kind of interesting. A lot of the plot points in X4 don't really go too many places, in my opinion. But that's kind of like the nature of the beast. Again, it's an anime means to an end. Um, um, but like, um, I love the cutscenes, especially with the bad voice acting. God damn, it's a triumph. It's a feat. I love it so much. Um, Cheese factor 1000. Um, but yeah, I feel like X5, even though it was supposed to be where the series ended, was kind of a step down. Um, 4 is just so strong. I love that it tried so hard to, really give both X and Zero an identity and like an equal place at the table, you know what I mean? Also, factoring in all the thematic elements of X wanting you as a player as Mega Man X wanting to become stronger like Zero, the fact that you're now both sharing the same character select screen in and of itself is kind of a coming of age tale. And I love that. I think that's super fucking cool. It's like now you're peers. Like Zero has always seen potential in X, and now you're getting there. You know what I mean, right? He's still a higher rank than you, and you're still both like, it's clear, but like, I don't know. I just think that's really cool, incidentally or otherwise. Okay, zooming in a little bit. Oh, but yeah, Animort. If not, I was gonna play some Smash with a friend of mine today after dinner and whatnot, but he doesn't usually stay up too late, so depending on when you guys can and when we can, I might be able to squeeze it in. Um, Maybe like 9 or 10 my time. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Hit me up on Discord and such. I'll check with Golden Ratio. Oh, good, great, great. If late would be fine, then it should be no problem, and that's great because I do need to decompress. He's opening his eyes, but it's a very come hither looking stare. It's like, no, he's just a child. This little guy is not he's not suggesting anything with his little gaze. He's just opening his eyes, all right. I know it looks like he's like a knowing smile. No, he's just opening his little peepers. He's just a little guy. I've always thought of Mega Man as like a tiny little guy, like just a little baby buddy, and he's precious. And so when he had abs in Mega Man, the Super Fighting Robot show, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? It felt like, I don't know, it just felt so funny to me. We've been coached by Tella and subbed in with enough that they have earned an honorary skull emblem. Hell yeah, secret info. That's great. I mean, it's like the BNZK exchange, how I gave them our emblems so that they could build on them. And a lot of the members also have golden ratio emblems. Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like the sort of like team building shit, the community building shit of that. Um, Blessings to Kago-san for trying to work with me to set up the scrims that we were going to do this weekend, but it was just too much with everything else that was going on. I was like, nah, man, I'm sorry. And he's like, he did like the crying face, but also the thumbs up. God bless emojis for like bridging gaps. There he goes. This is a knowing glance. So funny. There you go. I'm gonna make that another frame still. Cyber Peacock stage raises some interesting questions. Because you're in the internet. Emojis have crushed the language barrier. It's true. It is absolutely true. I mean, I always talk with my hands and gestures and stuff like that when I was helping guests from other countries when I was working at the hotels that I worked at. Like, it's very important, like to me to be understood. So it's kind of funny all the hoops I would jump through to be understood. And it's like, yeah, emojis when you're texting, it's so good. Emojis only work when you can see what they are, or so I've heard. It's in your defense, it's a very nuanced expression to be that small, and you don't get uh, a lot of the intention without the context. You know what I mean? So it's partially on me. But yeah, as where is it? There it is. This one says "Black Dead Inside." That's the same expression that I used in our conversation in the Lucid Discord earlier today. So you can see the similarities, hopefully, but it still might be a little rough. There we go. There we go. It was really funny. All right, here we go. Maybe I'll do like a full. Yeah, I think I'll do this. I love the way Homeboy says "Storm Owl" when he's introducing him. Oh, apparently his name is. Oh, I don't know if I could say that. Storm Fukural. It's that old adage, Fukural and find out. What a perfect note to end a stream of mine on. Man. Plus, names for the emote don't show up on your phone. Oh. Oh, yeah, right. You have to hover over them after the fact, and then they'll tell you. How convenient. That's so funny. Nightmare Dragoon was so fucking cool. Yeah. Boom. Check. Whack. Yeah, look at that shit. Yeah, yeah, I beat you to it. Apologies. That's sick. All right, and this is going to be some kind of on the fly design work because I had a vague idea for this, but I've never actually drawn it. So this will be fun. Here we go. The Chekhov's aforementioned folding shit obsession. Yeah, we're on a 3 hour today, Animort. So now is when the stream ends, but I want to finish this little thingy real quick before I go get some food, etc. Hell yeah. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I love doing art streams, and I need to do as many of them as humanly possible. Anything that'll keep me working, you know what I mean? To I love, yeah. So Chekhov's gun unfolding into shit. I think it must be Outlaw Star that got me kind of obsessed with like rotating shit and like rings of energy and stuff like that. Uh, Vasta Stampede's crazy transformed arm too. I love Halo's energy shit. Mega Man X, does that too. Yeah. I honestly don't know what's for dinner at this point, my dude. I think we're just scrounging. Just, easy shit, whatever it is. I've not been keeping very good habits in terms of eating, like timing and stuff like that, and it's starting to really fuck with me. It's not good. Okay. All right, so how can we do this? I want to make sure that that is properly shortened. Foreshortened, I should say. Here we go. Sakurai, his design, well, I don't know if it was his, but like the Smash Bros. Design of Mega Man is literally perfect. It's flawless. Like, holy shit. Again, what I was saying about shit unfolding into other shit, like the Buster opening up, the sort of like cloth that you can see for his like softer, like more flexible components. His shape being perfectly exactly what it was from the NES sprite. Oh my god! The fact that he doesn't move when he's not moving, like he's like a robot. He's the only when he's doing his pose at the end. He's like kind of spacing out. Like they really fucking knocked it out of the park in Smash. I wish it was a little less annoying to fight, but like, oh my god, it's so good. Mega Man Smash. That's so funny. That I don't know if there's some lag because I was just talking about. It's so funny. Or do you mean like the idea of a Smash Brothers game with Mega Man characters? Really allows a viewer to appreciate. Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Really allows the viewer to appreciate how much work and dedication you have to the craft. Thank you. Thanks for that. That's so funny. Okay, I think instead of having it open like that, I'm going to leave that for a different thing. What I'm going to actually do is have it open sideways. So another little dragging and dropping moment. Maybe like this. Yeah, that works. I'm gonna have to use the symmetry tool when I actually animate this properly, but that's all right. Go. And I'll have sort of like a cylinder extending here because I love a good cylinder extending. Another little cooling thing here. I, I, I there's a lot of shit that in my cartoonier style I could like justify. It's like, no, no, it's not meant to be super realistic, so the mechanisms don't have to make sense. And I do occasionally abuse that um, with my stuff, like with Champion Charlie. But it's even within Champion Charlie, I do my best to make the mechanism work as much as possible. You know what I mean? Because it's a a preference and a taste of mine. Things moving the way they should. I mentioned it earlier. Uh, Kenjamin and I were talking about how it's made and how fucking wonderful of a show that is. Um, so yeah, like it means it's important to me that a mechanism works. Feels really good to look at. You know the difference from some like silly cartoon shit and from some like, oh wow, someone designed this. You know what I mean? Here we go. Here we go. I'm just gonna make sure that it reads for something that's moving that aggressively, especially. I like having little moments of separation between it and other mechanisms. So like, like this is like a turbine, right? It's sucking up energy or whatever the fuck. So I could, for the sake of ease, I could just have the little gauge here that I'm drawing bleed into that, but like I'm gonna give it a little bit of space. I think maybe I have to just bring these back to the sort of horizontal spot. I think that looks a little cleaner. Let's leave it right there. Have the cylinder stay there. The elbow cylinder is a new thing. I haven't done that before, even when I was doing little sketches of this in the past. I kind of like that. In the spirit of secret info there, Animort, I noticed that Cog has not been very present in any capacity. Were they kicked out of the Discord? I don't want to get into drama right now, but just wondering, are they in the Discord anymore? Or did they leave? Did they take a walk? They were not kicked. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I hope they get some space and feel better. Decided to take a break. Yeah, it seemed like it was really getting to them, and I don't blame them. It's the give and take of passion. You know what I mean, right? Like you really care about something, and so when everything else is shitty around it in whatever capacity, that's happened to me. You're like, if you have something you can fixate or obsess over, it can get a little difficult. I get it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I didn't even, like no shade at all. That's exactly what happens to me, especially including an especially armored core. So I felt that was going on. I hope they're doing okay. Blessings to you, Cog. Hope you're okay. But yeah, I feel that completely. Okay, perfect. All right, and let's see, what can I put here without crowding it? Checked in a couple weeks ago, and they're focusing attention elsewhere at the time, but doing okay. Great to hear. That's really great to hear. Awesome. A little greebling here. I think I'm gonna. Maybe I'll put like little dudes here. Hmm. I could have the turbine take up less space, but I don't know. I don't want anything to be sticking out too far, you know what I mean? I wonder who is the first person to decide that cold shit sounded like that as an ice stage and you could tell immediately. I guess it sounds like wind. And then there's, wait, what the fuck is his Japanese name? Frost Kibatodos? It's Frost Walrus. Frost Kibatodos? Funniest thing about the Japanese Maverick names is the fact that they always just like lose their mind halfway through. Like Gravity Beetle is my favorite because his Japanese name is Gravity Beat Bood. It's like the first part of the word and then it goes nuts. Like Blast Hornet in Japanese is Explos Hornak. It just loses their mind. It's amazing. I love it. Okay. I always talk about this where like the vast majority of the time I spend on a piece is making decisions. That takes so much longer than the actual drawing of it, which does take a long time, but like, you know, me deciding, making, I think living in ice areas and hearing the echo of stalactites dripping echo. Yeah, it sounds wet. It sounds hollow. It's like a cave, stuff like that. It makes a lot of sense. Your paralysis with emblems. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Do I want do I want this to be a divide in the middle of that? I think it looks okay. It looks pretty cool. So I love mechanisms, and I'm so glad I can animate now because it means that all of it's really hard to animate mechanisms because there's a lot of things that need to stay in the same spot in order for it to look correct because a mechanism wouldn't move, right? But like, so it's a lot less like rough than I usually. It's a lot cleaner and more demanding than I usually go for. But like, I love the fact that I can do it now. I have the opportunity makes me very happy. Boss theme for X4 is pretty cool. I'm into it. All right. I want that to line up nicely because the better your shit lines up, the less you have to erase and redraw. There we go. And the motif is kind of echoed. Tight. All right, cool. I think we're in a good spot. Um, it's just a fun mixture of shit that is like cutesy and shit that is like realistically mechanical. I just find it very appealing. All right, so nice. See that? I had some in betweens, but a lot of that'll be layers shit. We're just gonna ignore the fact that, as I said, he cannot lift his head above his hand above his incredibly large head. I guess if he did this, turn his lemon head sideways, maybe he'd be able to scooch it around, but it would be an undertaking. It's it's practice, my friend. I've technically been drawing since I was 4, and since I just turned 32, that's a long time. And I have been practicing specifically animating in speed. Um, I practiced that for like 6, 8 months, give or take, over the course of the pandemic total. So it's a lot of. I'm just gonna leave it at this little triumphant pose. Yeah. So I wasn't expecting to finish too much, and I was correct. But we got a nice base for this rough animation. I'm gonna finish this probably over the course of the week between holiday stuff. It's got a lot of work to do. It's gonna be great. Um, but thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm gonna turn off this here wonderful music. Family route. Yes, yes, the family route. The it's commendable. That shit is not easy, and I bet you are a great papa. Thank you. It's been fantastic having you all vibing with me. Thank you for letting me jabber about Mega Man and Castlevania and shit for 3.25 hours. I had a blast. I'm gonna go get some food of some kind. Thanks for working and lurking. Glory to the lurkers, as my friend Skinny Pig would say. Um, yeah. For those who don't know, my name is Nathan Blackwood, also known as Blackfoot. I make music on Mondays right now. I make art on Wednesdays for Visual Wednesday, art and animation. Um, right now, Fridays are Freaky Friday, so horror games, horror art. I'm making my way through Resident Evil 4 Classic, so as you can see, quite a Capcom aficionado and enjoyer. And Sundays are Stardew Sunday. Sweater Sunday, technically, but I'm really enjoying playing Stardew with my wife, and that's what we're doing predominantly right now. So, next stream will be Friday, Freaky Friday. I'm going to continue Resident Evil 4, and I'm going to get as far as I can tomorrow, and likely end up doing a full, like, all night stream next Friday to finish the game. That is the current plan. I want it done before the year, so it's going to be a pretty interesting couple of Fridays coming up. I'm really excited. It's one of my favorite games from that era. It's going to be really fucking fun. So hopefully, let's get that hype train rolling already. It's really, really excited for the streams to come. It has been great vibing with you again. And if you want to support me, I almost forgot. Haha. It's a business over here. You know what I mean? It's also a business. For as little as $1 and as much as whatever you want, um, you can support me on Patreon. Uh, there's nothing like rewards associated with it at this point, but it really helps me out. Helps me. If you like what I do, it means the world to me and will help me further my goals and do more of this in the future. Um, Commissions are open on Ko-fi, however you want to pronounce it. If you see something there that you like, if you just want to donate, I really appreciate any support. Please donate responsibly. Or if you don't see anything that you like in my commissions sheet, you want something specific, just DM me. We'll make it happen. as is pinned in the messages, and as Animort was nice enough to also post. Please join the Discord if you like my stuff, if you like the community that I'm building. Everybody in chat, super fucking cool. Got a lot of really talented artists, a lot of really wonderful, enthusiasts, passionate people. Beautiful folks, and the more the merrier, always. Um, Lastly, subscribe if you like what I'm doing. If you haven't already, follow if you enjoy it. Uh, if you're watching this on YouTube, love you. Thanks for watching the VODs. And all in all, it looks like that's it. See you next time. Friday, Freaky Friday, Resident Evil 4. Take care of yourselves. Bow.